Good morning. Peace out. All right, Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, get in your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. President Biden is announcing fresh sanctions against Russia. NPR's Franco Ordonez reports the U.S. is also announcing new military aid on the anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
The new sanctions will target more than 200 people and entities in Russia and other countries.
Biden.
It will also target a dozen Russian financial institutions, as well as restrict U.S. companies from exporting
All
some
we're
products
doing
to nearly
is
90
building
companies
up a new Nazi
in Russia
regime.
and elsewhere, including
Mark the
China.
words.
The announcement comes just days after President Biden made a surprise visit to Kyiv, where he pledged unwavering support for Ukraine's battle with Russia.
And we, the American
The
people,
administration says the U.S. will also provide an additional $2 billion in military aid for Ukraine.
Just like what's
The new
going on right
package
there with the
includes more
election.
missiles for U.S.-provided HIMARS, rocket launchers, artillery ammunition, drones, and other equipment. Franco Ordonez, NPR News.
Blizzard warnings are posted for parts of Southern California. The National Weather Service warns the winter storm hitting the coast near Los Angeles may also cause intense showers and possibly small tornadoes. The winter weather has been fierce farther north, too. The Portland, Oregon area is digging out from a near-record amount of snow this week. More than 10 inches fell. Nathan Anaya is a tow truck driver who says he's been swamped with calls for help.
My phone's been ringing like 2 calls a minute, like nonstop, having to put people on hold.
That audio is courtesy of KPTV. There is a separate blizzard warning that's going into effect later today in central Nevada. Blowing snow could create drifts that are several feet deep. Meanwhile, Michigan is struggling to recover from a separate winter storm that blasted through the northern U.S. this week. The tracking site poweroutage.us says well over 700,000 utility customers in Michigan don't have electricity. Many people won't have it restored for a few days. Stocks opened lower this morning as the Commerce Department reported higher than expected inflation last month. NPR's Scott Horsley reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average tumbled more than 450 points in early trading.
The Commerce Department's inflation yardstick, which is closely watched by the Federal Reserve, shows January prices were up 5.4% from a year ago. Excluding food and energy prices, so-called core inflation was 4.7%. Prices rose 0.6% between December and January. Rising prices don't appear to be turning off shoppers. Personal spending jumped 1.8% last month, outpacing the gain in personal income. Americans spent more on cars, restaurant meals, and pharmaceuticals. The prospect of lingering inflation is once again pushing up mortgage rates. The average rate on a 30-year home loan is now 6.5%, the highest in 3 months. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down about 400 points, or more than 1%. This is NPR. Nigeria is holding presidential elections tomorrow. It's Africa's most populous nation with more than 200 million people. 18 candidates are campaigning for president. One of the leading contenders is opposition party candidate Peter Obi, a former Nigerian governor. He's winning support from younger Nigerian voters, but it's not clear if that's enough to win the race. Heavy rain and strong winds are reported in central Mozambique after Tropical Storm Freddie made landfall today. Earlier, the storm left at least 7 people dead on the island of Madagascar. Ish Mafundikwa reports Mozambique was already experiencing flooding.
UNICEF's Guy Taylor is in Vilanculos, a coastal town in Freddy's Park. He says the UN agency, other humanitarian organizations, and the government are ready to aid those in need of shelter, safe drinking water, food, and other necessities. He, however, fears a worsening of the cholera outbreak the country is experiencing.
Cholera is, of course, a waterborne disease, and so the intense flooding likely to result from Tropical Storm Freddie will likely be exacerbated by that.
After crossing Mozambique, Freddie is expected to hit Zimbabwe and possibly other inland countries over the weekend. For NPR News, I am Ishmael Fundikwa in Harare.
Officials in Brazil say landslides in the southern part of that nation have left around 50 people dead. Flooding and mudslides have cut off communities and inundated homes in Sao Paulo state. Survivors are sheltering in schools and churches. Officials are trying to rush them relief aid. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News.
What's happening on NPR Podcasts? More neighborhoods.
Amazon.
Identities.
Skip.
In NASA news, NASA has selected Jacobs Technology Incorporated of Tullahoma, Tennessee, to manage launch infrastructure and to operate and maintain ground systems required for flight spacecraft processing at the agency's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. NASA and Blue Origin's Club for the Future will co-host multiple free in-person viewing events of the agency's documentary, The Color of Space, at historically black colleges and universities, conferences, festivals, and more nationwide. The documentary is a conversation between 7 current and former black astronauts, each of whom were selected.
Okay.
Members of the media and public are invited to participate in NASA's Imagine Aviation, a free, virtual event focusing on how the agency transforms research innovations into new possibilities for aviation for the benefit of humanity. Sessions run from Tuesday, February 28th to Thursday, March 2nd. NASA will provide live coverage of key events as an uncrewed Roscosmos-Soyuz spacecraft launches and docks to the International Space Station. NASA will provide coverage of the upcoming pre-launch and launch activities for the agency's SpaceX Crew 6 mission with astronauts to the International Space Station. In weather. Right now in Seattle, it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast has mostly sunny weather, with a high of 39 degrees and a low of 23 degrees. From NASA, NASA has selected Jacobs Tech.
Amazon, tell us a joke.
Why did the man become an archaeologist? His career was in ruins.
Well, if that's the case, then archaeology is a place. Alright. Well, have a good day, everyone. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stay warm, stay cool wherever you are. Peace out. Hang loose. Rock on. Have fun.